Hello guys, in this video we'll see how to use a calendar control. Okay, so what we will do, we will try to do a age calculator application using Visual Studio. So let's get started. I'll open a Visual Studio application. So I'll go for a create new project. I'll go for Windows Visual Basic Desktop with a .NET framework. Okay, just choose this option, click next. I'll try selecting the area where I need to save my application. I'll use age calculator. Okay, age calculator as my project name. I'm just clicking create. It's getting created. Okay, so guys, the project is loaded now, so I'll just resize the form. So as usual, I'll just change the sizing and all so that it is looking good. I'll just change the size property of the form border style. I'll just change to fixed single, and I'll minimize the button, means I'll disable the maximize button. Okay, so that's all in this. Okay, now let's go to the actual this thing. So I need some two text boxes, right, for calculating age. So I needed two inputs. One is age, means date of birth, and next one is as of which date you want to calculate the age. Okay, so I'll take two text boxes. I'll just drag two text boxes. I need two labels as well. I need to display the content. Okay, so I'll take two labels. I'll take two date time picker. Okay, this is a common thing which you can use in all the applications. Okay, wherever you have date kind of inputs, because I can use a input from the text box straight away from the user, but I'm not using in that way. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the user to select from the date time picker. So this date time picker, it will accept the calendar value whatever date you are giving, and that will be converted and stored in this text box. Okay, then we will calculate the age. So for calculation of age, we will have a function of Microsoft Visual Studio itself to use it. Okay, so I'll just get it into detail. First let's design the form first. So I'm just changing the name of the label. So the first label should be date of birth. Okay, second will be age as of. Okay, so I need two inputs from the user. One is the date of birth of the person, and second, on which date you want to know the age. Okay, for that particular reason. So by default we'll store these two values with current date. Okay, so we'll write it in the coding part, that thing. And the form also I'll change it as age calculator. Okay, now I'll take two text boxes, sorry, two buttons. I'll place two buttons. So the first button I'll say calculate age. The second button I'll put it as clear age, or otherwise clear. That should be fine. Next, I'll put one more label for displaying the age. Okay, so I'm just putting this for heading purpose, ages. Okay, and this another label for displaying the actual value. Okay, so I'll remove this, means I'll remove the text of the label 4, but I'll put the label name as age display text. Okay, I've changed this as age display text. So here only we will showcase the output. So this is a normal variable to display the text, but this variable, since I have removed the text, it won't be visible. Okay, you need to just select like this. You need to draw a box from the mouse by clicking left mouse button, and then you will be able to view this label which we have removed. Similarly, for label alone like this. Okay, so other things you will feel, you will have that tool itself visible, so it won't be getting disabled or invisible. Okay, but label is something which gets invisible if you remove the text. Okay, so be careful on that, otherwise it will be little bit tedious process to find it out exactly where it is. Okay, so for that purpose, and now let's change the font of these things so that it looks good. Okay, so I've selected everything, and just in one go I'm changing the font. I use a 10 sized font so that it looks little bit visible and clear. Okay, so now I've just moved it little bit, just made it little bit elaborate so that it looks little bit clear. Okay, this is the main button. So we'll change the form, the color of these two buttons as well as white. Sorry, this is 4 color, you need to keep it in black. There is the back color, you need to change the back color for changing the color of that particular tool. Okay, so now form is ready. This also we will change these two. I'll change the font as little bit bigger so that it is visible. Okay, that's why I did not select it at that point of time. The ages, so keep the age alone in a different color. You can choose whatever color you wish, I'm not changing much. Okay, so the age is like this. Okay, now the form also I can change the color as something in this color, should be okay. And I'm changing the color of these two text boxes. Back color, I always choose back colors of text boxes as yellow so that it's visible as an input. So now if you run the form, it will be by default enabled for keying in the user input. So I'm just making these two text boxes as read only. Okay, so that the user doesn't have any rights to write anything. Okay, that's the reason. So I made read only as true, so it will not allow any input. I changed it just now. Okay, now date time picker will be visible by default. So now let us go get into the coding part. Okay, if you want you can put a frame, let's put it in the last. Okay, I'll try the starting the coding part first. So first let's click the form and see what is the default code. So this is the default code for this particular form. Okay, now on start means before the private form load. Okay, so we'll declare some variables inside the class. Okay, so first variable which I want to declare is, first let's get the variable for the storing of the inputs which the user keys in for birth date. So let us take it as b date, birth date. Okay, and then a date. Okay, a date for age of age as of now. So we have two variables for storing those two field values. Okay, so we will store it in date time data type. Okay, because it's a date specifically, and the date time picker specifically returns including time. Okay, this not only returns date, it returns time as well. I'll showcase you in running while running it. Okay, so we have declared two variables. Now our motto is for to calculate the age. Okay, so we need some variables for calculating that, right? So what I will do, I'll my intent is to display the age in years, months, days, hours, seconds, minutes, like that. So you can get the total number of years, or total number of months, or total number of days, or total number of hours from start of that date and end of this date. Okay, so I'll tell you in more detail while coding it. Okay, first I'll declare the variables. Okay, so for these variables I'll use v underscore. Okay, why I'm using v underscore or b underscore is I need to differentiate between the variables. So in a bigger code or a bigger program, bigger application, you will find a lot of issues in the definition of variables. If you define something like I can define like years or number of years, okay, something like that, but it will not have any issue in this program. But I'm telling you on a longer run, because a lot of variables will be there in a bigger application or a bigger program. You will feel it is confusing which variable is storing what. So for that purpose I'm using this kind of capital letters and v underscore kind of stuff. Okay, so it's not mandatory that you need to use v underscore or b underscore or a underscore date. I'm just using this with a meaning, okay, so that it is much useful and much what to say, it is easier for you to understand and while coding it in a larger application. So this is my way of programming, so that's why I'm telling you that, and it is useful in a larger uh, run. Okay, so let's start. And then v underscore years, okay, v underscore months, v underscore days, v underscore hours, v underscore minutes, v underscore seconds. As I'll use a data type called integer. So integer by default will have a has a limitation. Okay, so this can store a 32-bit signed integer. Okay, so you can use this 16, 32 or 64 also. These are also variants of this integer variable. Okay, integer data type, but these have different max values. So basically you can use these as well also. So I'm using integer. Okay, so like this you have a lot of data types. I'll try doing a separate video on the data types alone, because that's a very lengthy topic. So I thought of using the different data types in different videos, so that you get to know the use cases of each and every data type. So let's start the code now. So first, on load of this program, what we need to do is we need to get the dates from the date time pickers. Okay, so for that purpose what I will do, I'll put the means I'll get the date from the date time picker, whatever date is present at the moment of load. Okay, so first thing is we did not rename the text boxes. Okay, so I'll rename the text boxes name. Okay, this is the reason. So now if it is a bigger application, you will find it difficult which text box is carrying what, so that's the reason of renaming also. So I'm changing the name of the text box as birth date. Okay, txt underscore birth date, and here I'm changing it as txt underscore age as off. Okay, so these are all case sensitive, but VB will automatically detect your typing. Okay, so you don't have to worry about case sensitivity. So this date time picker, I will use a short form called DTP, date time picker. Okay, underscore, this is birth rate. Similarly, this I will use it as DTP age as off. Okay, and this we don't have to rename, it's okay, fine. Okay, so now on the form load, what we will do, we'll take a variable, means we have already defined the variable, right? So b underscore date equals to dtp underscore birth rate dot value. So value is the property of the datetime picker, which stores the exact value of the datetime picker. Whatever you select, it will be stored in the value field. okay, value property. So now we are just assigning to the our variable which is there. You can't assign it to a string variable, so you just be careful of defining it as datetime, because this is also datetime, so it is automatically assigned to this. And next is a date, right? A date equals to dtp underscore a as age as of, okay, dot value. So now both these things have been assigned. Okay, now I have assigned to the variables. Now let us copy it to the text boxes which is there, so that you get to have a feel of what has been assigned or what is already there. Okay, so you can straight away copy it, but it will be like I'll showcase how it is. Okay, then you can decide. I'll just put it in this, but you need to do it dot to string before you do before you assign it to the text box, because text box takes text only. Okay, so since this is in a date format, it will be throwing an error. Okay, so better to use dot to string. So each as of dot text equals to, here I will have a date dot to string. Okay, so now let's run and see the values of these date time pickers, so that you will get to understand how it is coming in. Okay, I'm just running it, so it's getting built. So now it has come. Okay, see, so it has taken the date in the system format, whatever your system has. Okay, so it is based on that, and this entire date setup is based on your system time. So whatever you choose here, it will come from, means it will take your system format only. Okay, so it is reading the Windows date time format and it is displaying it here. Okay, what we'll do, we don't need the time value here, okay, for display. So we will remove this and we will format it a little bit. We cannot remove it in this level. Okay, this is the text. Okay, so what I will do, I'll do it a format. Let's see how to format this. Okay, so you can refer your Windows format. Okay, so whatever the Windows accepts, you can format in that way. So what I will do, I'll do a format of that particular variable, inside which I'll use dd hyphen mmm hyphen yyyy. So this is your format of format accepted by the Windows. Okay, so format is a function inside Visual Studio which can format your values. So right now I'm formatting the date into a text in this particular format. Okay, so you can use any format which you want to display. So I'm right now displaying it as dd hyphen mon, means it will display the first three characters of the month and then followed by year hyphen yyyy in full. So now I'm the dd, so you can refer to your Windows format. Okay, whatever Windows format you use, you can use that format here, because this Visual Studio is completely attached to your Windows, so it will take all these inputs from the Windows. So this will take in this format. Now the formatting, and it has populated the dates now. Okay, now what next? Now we need to select the variables from this, right? Means now on load it will come with the dates, but on selection of this date time picker also we need to populate the values in this text box. So we will double click this. Okay, now what we'll do, so here we will assign the value. So this is the birth date. Okay, b underscore date equals to here dtp dot birth date dot value, we have assigned it, okay, to the variable. Okay, next what we will do, we will do a format of this. So we'll just copy this. So automatically when the user selects the date, it will automatically assign and it will showcase in this text box. Similarly we will do for this date time picker as well. So we will have the a date. So whenever the user changes, automatically it is assigned to the variable, as well as it is being copy it to the text box. Okay, so we'll copy the date is instantly given to the text box as well, so that user gets a feel that it has been selected. Okay, whatever date he selects. I'll run and showcase how it is. Okay, first let's complete this code. So that's all for this date time picker part. Okay, so these two are finished, so this entire this area is completed. Now we need to code these two, so we'll see how to code this. So we'll double click the button. So now we need to know whether both the dates have been given in the input, so we need to put a if condition. So now I'll use the text. Okay, dot text, if this is not equals to this, and txt underscore ages of dot text not equals to this, then this. Because if the user has not keyed in the both the dates, and if he has keyed in only one date or something, we may have issues, because the clear button will clear it, right? So that's why I'm giving this condition. Now let's go on to the next one. Now straight away go to the coding part of the years and other calculations. So v underscore years, so this is basically an integer variable, right? So I can use a function in Visual Studio which calculates the date difference. Okay, so there is a function called date diff. Okay, this is a function of Visual Studio. So this function allows you to get the exact difference between two dates. So how it functions is, you need to put date diff followed by what you want as output. So date interval. Okay, just type date interval dot, you can select what you want in return. Okay, so now I want year in return, comma, here I will put b date, the inputs of both the dates. Okay, so comma a date. So now this will return the difference of years between the first value and the second value. So, and I need, means this I'm saying that I need year as output, number of years. Okay, similarly we will type for all these variables. So we will take months, v underscore months equals to same date diff. Okay, I'm just copying it so that it's easier for me to, okay, date d. So here I'll, if you see, if you missed out this pop-up, okay, this drop down, just go to, just type that function and just type dot, it will automatically list it down whatever the options available. So here you can choose month. Okay, similarly I'll choose this thing, copy, I'll paste next one. Here we'll ask for v underscore days. Here I need to select date. Okay, next v underscore hours. Here we can select hour, this will return hours between both the dates. Okay, so while calculating hours and all, it will take the present time. Okay, it will have the default time when it has loaded. Okay, so that time will be taken into account. So I'll tell you in detail while running this application. Okay, v underscore minutes. So you don't have to type exactly the same variable name, it will automatically showcase you what you want. Paste. So v underscore minutes, see, it will automatically showcase what you wanted. Here we'll use minute. Next one, seconds. This one, second. Okay, now we have taken all the 6 variables, okay, for their date difference. Now let us display this. So for displaying alone, I'll have one more variable, dim d underscore text, display text as string. because we need to display it in a message label box. Okay, and these are integers. We can display as it is, but to be in a professional way, I'm doing it in that way. Okay, so d text equals to v underscore years dot toString. Since it's an integer, I'm just converting it to toString before displaying it, because I'm going to add a string content. Okay, so here it is years. Okay, then I'm giving vb new line. What this does, this will print a new line. Okay, new line character in this string. So I'm going to display the text one by one below. Okay, so first it will display number of years, it will then next it will display number of months, next it will display hours, minutes, seconds, like that. So I'll take this, I'll copy it, I'll paste it here. I'll use d text plus this thing. Okay, so here I'll use copy months and paste it here. It will be months. So what I've done, first it will display the years from years variable, and then it will type a new line, then it will display months in the next line. Here it will be months, so this will return the number of months difference from here, and it will display the months text. So we'll see in the output how it looks like. Okay, so I'm just copying this line and pasting this. Okay, sorry, the copy went. D text values, so we have 6 variables, so we'll paste till 5 lines first. Okay, because already I have the first variable here, so 4 are done. Fifth one. So now we'll start replacing the variables. So v underscore days, here days. Next one is v underscore hours, here we will type it as hours. V underscore minutes, here we will type minutes. Here v underscore seconds, here we will type seconds. So this last new character is not necessary because this is the end of text. Okay, so now this part is done, so we need to do a else condition. Okay, if at all the user has not selected anything, then we need to put a error, right? So for that purpose, so I'll say please select birth date and age as of, comma, I'll give a exclamation symbol, so I'll use VB. We can use exclamation. Okay, we can use a this thing. Okay, I'll use message box style dot exclamation. Okay, and then I'll put the title of the window. So now this part is over. Now let's code the clear part. So what this will do, this will just clear the text, means the variables, right, and the text boxes. So what we will do, first we'll clear the text boxes. Text equals to this txt age of calc dot text equals to null. I can assign null for these two, but I cannot assign null to the b date and a date because it's a date variable and this is a string. Okay, so for that purpose what we will do, we will assign b date equals to date time dot now. What this does is datetime is a function inside Visual Studio, and you can use now as the current time. Okay, it will take current date time from the system and it will populate inside bdate, and a date equals to datetime dot now. So now these two values have been assigned with the current date time when you clear it. Similarly, we can assign dtp birth date dot value equals to datetime dot now, and dtp age of dot value equals to datetime dot now. So that's all guys, the code is completed. Now let us try saving and running it. It's getting built, it is ready now, it will come up. Yeah, okay, so now you can see this 18 July 2024, this is the current date. So this can be a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'll just change it, because since we have changed the font, it is not displaying the full content. This is the correct view of this particular thing, and there are few things more. Okay, first I will run this, then I'll say that. So now the datetime picker is running. Okay, now both the dates are same as per our code. It has to display the current date. Okay, that will take the date time from the current time. Okay, so now if you do this drop down, it will look like this as a simple calendar, how you select it from the Windows. Okay, so now you can choose the year, month, or you can go traverse to whatever date you want. This is the advantage of datetime picker. Otherwise you need to type it like this. Okay, that would be a tedious process for the user. That's why I've disabled this, means I've made it as read only. So this you can't change now. Okay, but you can change it from this datetime picker. So now datetime picker, I'm selecting it. Okay, let's go for some 20-30 years. So I'll select something somewhere in 1998. Okay, somewhere here. Now let's calculate. It should come, it's not coming. Let's see. Okay, we have not displayed it, right? It has calculated, but we did not display. So lbl dot display dot text equals to dtext. This we forgot. So now let's see. So now I'll select some date. You can use just like a normal datetime picker from the Windows. Okay, so this is the same datetime picker. See, now it is like, it has calculated the difference of years, difference of months, difference of days, difference of hours, difference of minutes, difference of seconds. So if you swap it, it will come in minus. Everything will come in minus. It will obviously return the value, but it will be in minus if this date is lesser and this date is bigger. Okay, so this date has to be old and this date has to be as of some date. You can choose any date. For example, I calculate 4 days before, it will change. But thing is, this has to be the older one, this has to be the newer one. If you swap this, it will be in minus. Okay, that's the issue of this. Now we are clearing it, so it has assigned it with the current date time. See, it has changed. So you can code it as per your wish and your application requirements. Okay, so now going to the this calendar control, one small thing I need to update you guys. There are two things. Okay, so here when you select the calendar control, okay, it will have different properties. You can change the calendar control colors and all from this. So for color you can change the month background color. I'm just leaving it as default so that it looks good. Okay, so but you can change it. Okay, so this is the thing. And there is two other property. Okay, one is max date and minimum date. So you can choose what you want the user to select. Say for example, if you have an application requirement to have date selection between a single year or or a year, like you want the user to select only a specific year's value, you can restrict it with this. Okay, this is in your system format. Whatever your system format is there, in that format you have to assign the value here. So you can choose it here also. Okay, so it will restrict the date in the user level itself, in the form level itself. You don't have to code it after code it after getting the user input. So this is an advantage of using a calendar control. Otherwise you need to take the input from the user, then you need to validate whether it is within the value of your application or your requirement. So that things can be avoided with this kind of calendar control. So that is the main advantage and user friendly thing for selecting dates and typing dates. So this is the use case of a calendar control. So I'll try putting a frame so that it looks better. Okay, so I'll just put a frame dialog group box. Okay, basically, so I'm just putting a group box and I can move it into the back side, and now I'm giving it the name as age calculator as text. So this text I'm little bit making predominant. Okay, I'm changing the color as well so that it looks better. So now the control is ready and I'm changing the default location as center screen so that it is visible in the center. So now if you run it, it will come here. Now I can change the control and I can change, means I can select the date. I'm just selecting some dates. Okay, so this is a complete age calculator. And one more thing, this function which we have used, right? So this thing I'll showcase that. This date diff has a small disadvantage. Okay, so this is a disclaimer. So this date diff function is provided by Visual Studio. It may or may not exactly match with the current values. Say for example, when you calculate the difference, means when you run this calculator, it will calculate the age, but it may not be exactly to the precise age. Okay, because it rounds off. Okay, so it may round it off like to the next higher integer for year or month or minutes. Okay, because it uses a different algorithm. If you want to do an exact calculation of your age or date, it means difference of dates, you can you can incorporate your own code as well, like calculating number of years, calculating the um, leap year and all those kind of stuffs you need to include, and then you can calculate with based on your function or your the application requirements. But in general you can use this date difference function. I'll try providing a date diff function link so that you can use it for your purpose in the description. Okay, so you can just refer it. So that's all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, just press like and click subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you.